Hi guys, good evening. So in the last session we have discussed about column formatting guys. Today we will discuss about row formatting. So for row formatting we are taking an example of student data. See here, this is my file name, row formatting data source XLSX, and this file containing students 2022 sheet, where when you look at the data we can notice data is not properly entered in this sheet, because in an Excel file we'll maintain our data in rows and columns format. So always in every row the column count will be the same. But if you look at row number 1, we are seeing details, student details word, that's all. We are not seeing any value for other columns. Okay. So below that we are seeing a row with the name, serial number, name, grade, joining date and fee. By looking at this we can understand this information is talking about student related fee information along with their grade and joining date. Okay, good. So now how many columns we are having here guys? We are having total 5 columns. Out of these 5 columns, when we look at the data, serial number column containing numeric type column. New serial number is a numeric kind of column where only numerics are allowed. But whereas here incorrect data entered like SSSD, and for this row also we are having some incorrect data entered as EE. Similar way, in the joining date column, it is like June month, June 1st is joining date for ABC, June 2nd is for CDE, June 5th is XYG. Similar way for GHI, if you look at this data, we are having 32 in place of day. We do not have any day with the number 32 in June month. So maximum number of days that are available in the month of June are 30 days. So you are allowed to enter any value within those 30 days. See here in the calendar, we are allowed to enter only values from 1 to 30. But here in the date value, if you look at this date value, where the data entered in this date field is June 32, which is an incorrect one. And at the end, in between, we are having few blank rows, empty rows, and at the end we are having some one single line word, one single cell word, summary of student data. And see how to load this data to Power BI, Power Query Editor, and how can we deal with incorrect data. Okay, so I'm going to Power BI. I'm going to transform data, Power Query Editor option. So using transform data option, I can load this sheet. Okay, no, it opens my Power Query Editor window. In the Power Query Editor window, I'll choose new source option. So through new source, I'm allowed to select this file. Okay. What is file name? Row formatting data source. Okay. Let me go to new source option and choose Excel workbook as a source. It opens me a browse window where I can browse for row formatting options. The row formatting source, data source. It's taking some time. Yeah, done. So here in the downloads, we are having row formatting data source file. So that file containing 3 sheets, student 2022-23 employee data. So out of these 3 sheets, my interest is on students 2022 data. So as I have chosen that file, Power BI connecting to that source and reading the data. See here, please wait while we establish connection to row formatting data source, XLSX. As soon as reading is completed, it will allow to extract data from that particular sheet through navigator window. Our sheet name is 2022. I'm selecting 2022 sheet and data will be extracted and shown here. See here guys, if you look at this data, the way it got understood by Power BI is this way. So the first column, first value, student details, whichever value given at the top, it is treated as first column name, and for rest of the columns there are empty details, right? So in place of empty details, Power BI automatically assigned column names like column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, and what are data available after that row, rest of the data loaded as is. And wherever empty data is there in our file, in the source file, that empty data loaded as null values, null, 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 null. Okay. At the end, we are having summary of student data in first column. So that's why we are saying that value. After that, we are having empty rows, empty cells. That's why we are saying null values. Now, load this data to Power Query Editor and see how to transform, how to deal with this incorrect data. So here our problem is, see guys, our problem is what kind of data we are having. The first kind of data is incorrect one. So instead of a specific type of specific data type, specific value of a specific data type needs to be maintained in this column. Instead of that value, another data type value. See here, numeric kind of values needs to be stored under serial number column. But in our case, the R file containing text data in serial number column. Similar way, joining date column containing an incorrect date field value. So with the day of 30, with the day of June month like 32, which is incorrect. And also it is having some null values, that is empty values. Now, and also there is one more record. Yes, if you look at this record, CDE, this record 3xyg and 3xyg, this is a duplicate record. So I just highlight this one. This is a duplicate record. 3xyg and 3xyg, this is a duplicate record. Okay, duplicate, same values in every column, serial number, same name, same grade, same name, same date of joining, same fee information. Now see how to deal with this row level formatting. Now my data header is not properly read. There is a first thing. My data header is this one, but whereas if I look at this student details column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5 like this, Power Query Editor added another column names. The very first thing I have to do is I have to promote my first row as a header. So I'm having that option available under home button. Go to use first row as header. As soon as I click on this, my this selected row, the first row will become the header. Earlier, before doing that, if you check the data, it is showing 12 rows of data with 5 columns. See here at the left bottom corner, 12 rows of data. But actually, the data count is like only 11 rows, excluding header. But here, as the header is not understood, like properly detected, we are having the header added as part of the data rows itself. Okay, now I'm doing this action, use first row as header. As soon as I do that, see here, my first row got promoted to header, and now my column data is profiled. Now see here, serial number column is profiled as ABC123. What is ABC123 guys? Alphanumeric. What is the reason? Because the current values which are available in your source data comprises of both numeric and text values. That's why Power BI identified and profiled this column as an alphanumeric one due to the presence of different kinds of data type of data in this column. But whereas actually we have to make sure this is a numeric column. So I'm going here to this column profiling label. I'm changing this one to whole number, which is a numeric one. As soon as I change this one to whole number, see here this empty data, like incorrect data type data, like text data. What what happens to this text data? Notice. So I'm going to column profiling. I'm choosing as whole number. As soon as I select that, my empty data became error, text data showing as an error, other text data is showing as an error. So Power Query Editor identified as per the selection of the data type for the serial number column, below are the rows, cells which are containing error data. That's why I have identified as error. It's the, as soon as select that error, I'm saying details as SSD, data format error. We could not convert this one to number. That's why Power BI written an error. Now I'll do the same thing for joining date. See here, actually the date kind of column will be profiled as a date data type. But due to the presence of empty values as well as presence of incorrect date, it is also treated as an alphanumeric one. Now try to correct this one by selecting proper data type as date. As soon as I select date, this date field, incorrect date field will become an error field. And see, it became an error. Okay. Now how many errors we are having is we are having errors in second row at this place, seventh row at this place, and 11th row. And how many blank columns we are having? Complete blank columns. this is one blank column. This is no. This is sixth, third, sorry, fourth, sixth, 10th are the black column, blank columns. See here, guys, and my bottom record is incorrect record. It is having all null values and one error value. So we are allowed to deal with row level formatting using options available under remove rows option here. So which is available under home tab. Okay. So using remove rows options, we can deal with data row level formatting. Okay. See here, I want to remove this last row. I don't want this row because it is not containing data actually. It's a summary row which came by mistake in the file. So what I'll do, I'll simply go to remove rows. I'm having remove top rows, remove bottom rows options. So here my requirement is to remove the last row, which is a bottom row. So I'll simply go to remove rows. I'll select remove bottom row, and after that it will ask for how many rows from bottom you want to delete. So from bottom I want to remove only one row. So I'll do that one more time. From bottom, select, I'm giving row count as 1, so that from the bottom one row which is error record will be removed. See here, as soon as I select, the last row will be removed, 11th row. So now if you look at the data, we are having only 10 rows of data. Now I have told you this is a duplicate record, 3xyg 3xyg. I don't want to maintain a duplicate data, so I can remove either 3 or 9. Okay, to do that I'll simply go to remove rows. I'll select remove duplicates. As soon as I select remove duplicates, so whichever rows having same values for all the columns in this data set will be removed. So I'm choosing remove duplicates. As soon as I do that, what's saying is I have loaded with only these two rows, which is incorrect. I'm just removing this duplicate. I'm going and selecting entire table, or I'll select entire table, and then I'll go for remove duplicates. What's happening, guys? Why it is removing all the data? Remove duplicates. If I choose remove duplicates, otherwise I'll do one thing. Before applying remove duplicates, I'll remove error rows. So I have selected all the columns. I'm choosing remove errors. So wherever row containing error, the selected row, wherever whichever cell that containing error value in the entire row at any place, so that particular thing will be removed, that entire row. See here, in our case, second row is an error row, fifth row is an error row, fifth row is an error row as it contains error for date column, and seventh row as an error row. 2, 5, 7. Let's remove errors. 2, 5, 7 got removed out of 10. Sorry guys, not all selected. I'm selecting again. I'm choosing remove errors. Now this time date error also gone. Out of 10 rows, 3 errors are removed. Now we are having only 7 rows of data. Out of that we are having blank rows also this way. So I can go to my remove rows. I can choose remove blank rows. So I'll select all the rows. I'm going here, I'm removing blank rows. As soon as I select 3, 4, 7, these rows, 3 rows will be removed. Remove blank rows. That's all, done. Now I'm having 4 rows of data with me, and out of these 4 rows of data we are having a duplicate data for second row and fourth row. So I'm selecting entire table again using Control A from my keyboard. I'm going to remove row. I'm using remove duplicates option. As soon as I do that, the one more duplicated data like 3xyg. Earlier we were having 4 rows. See, I'm removing this step here. We are having 4 rows after removing blanks and errors. Now out of these 4 rows, row number 2 or row number 4 are duplicates. So I'm going and selecting all the columns. I'm choosing remove rows and I'm clicking on remove duplicates option. So which removed the duplicate data, and these 3 rows of data is clear, clean data for me. Okay. Now, so whatever steps that we have applied on the row formatting are added as steps under query settings. So I'll remove all the steps. I want to show you one more option which is called keep, So now we have moved back to a state where our loaded data is not profiled properly. So I'm going and selecting use first row as header. After that, I'm selecting for serial number as whole number. For date, I'm selecting as date. Okay. After that, we got errors. After that, what I'll do, if user want to know, like if business wanted to know which why I have given 11 rows of data, but why only 2 or 3 rows of data loaded in the DB, loaded into Power BI for reporting purpose. User may come and ask this way. That time we have to be in a position to share him the data, like, see guy, this is the file you have given to me. When I try to format this data to be loaded into Power BI, that time, sorry, yes, Viral, give me a moment, guys. Yeah. So when we try to load the data into Power BI, that time we have noticed these many blank rows and these many error rows, okay, and these many duplicate rows, 3 and 9. So we have applied all our transformations. After that, we were able to clean and load the required data. Okay. Now, so while telling this information, we should be in a position to share him the data. So in that case, we can use keep rows, where we can go and check the options like keep rows. So I'll select all the columns. I'll go to keep rows. Here I can say keep duplicates. As soon as I click on keep duplicates, I'm getting an error here. 1 second. So I'll check for this. Control A, all columns. Keep errors. As soon as I select error, whichever row containing a value error in any place in the entire row, those rows will be highlighted and shown here. So you can go to this table symbol, you can copy entire data and you can paste it in an Excel file, and you can share this information back to the business saying this data I haven't loaded because it is having error information. Okay. So now after that, I remove this. If you don't want to have duplicate rows, I'm selecting go keep rows and sorry, duplicates. So I think apart from duplicates, we are having additional rows, right? That's why we are getting error. But the usage of keep rows is important. Understanding keep rows functionality. Keep rows allows user to select or filter data on some criteria, and that particular data can be shared back with the customer saying these many errors your data containing. So you can do that, go to this copy entire table option and paste it in an Excel file and share with the actual business team. Okay, clear guys? This way, whatever features that are available under keep rows works. So these are nothing. Keep rows and remove rows work in contradiction, guys. One to one. Like whatever data you select, if you try to remove after doing that, if you whatever data that you want to retain, by understanding on that, you will come to know whichever data needs to be removed. So first you identify the data needs to be retained. After that, you have to go for removing step by step, removing duplicates, removing empty values, removing errors like that. Okay, and and here in our case, removing duplicates, removing blank rows, remove errors work this way. Whichever data that you want to work like remove, only the action will be performed on those rows like errors, rows and duplicates. But with respect to keep rows, it will be opposite. Like whenever say keep duplicates, then only duplicates will be retained and rest of the data will be removed. When you say keep errors, then only error rows will be here and rest of the data will be removed. This way it works. But whenever you say remove duplicates, then only duplicate rows will be removed and the rest of the data will be retained. See here, I'll select remove duplicates. Let row number 3 and row number 9 are duplicates. Let's see. As soon as I click on remove duplicates, those two rows will be removed. And once again, I think column selection is not happening. Yeah. Remove duplicates, I'll say. I'll say remove blanks first. Blank. What's happening? One ABC nursery. Okay. not keep, I'm going to remove errors. I'll say error rows got removed. After that, remove blank rows got removed, or remove duplicates. This way I have found my data, cleaned my data. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone, guys. Okay, now I'll redo the same steps. I'll go to remove rows, I'll remove blank rows. I'll remove errors, I'll remove duplicates, I'll remove blank rows. After that, I'll click on close and apply. So as soon as I do that, my data will be loaded into Power Pivot. Let's see, I'm doing that. Okay, so now guys, you have loaded one sheet of data, and in that sheet of data you have noticed there are data corrections required. So where like duplicate data available, empty data available, and incorrect data is available for specific fields. So this way we have identified a way to clean our data, and finally we have loaded only 3 records of data as a clean one to be loaded into pivot and to be used in Power View to design a visual. Okay, now see, give it some time. Yeah, it seems it got loaded, right? And the data section we're able to see here. I'm going here, I'm choosing my data view, so I'll be able to see whatever data that I have used to import in Power BI. Out of that imported 11 rows of data, only 3 rows got retained. This you will understand. Okay, clear? Yes, clear so far? Thank you. Okay, so now guys, now I am again going back to the same transform data option. Transform data option. So under this transform data option, under this transform data option, give me a moment. Yes, now see, we have received the data for the month of so like in 2022. In future, if we are going to receive the similar kind of data as a data source, then we should be in a position to simply apply same transformation which are applied on the first file. Give me a moment. Yes, yeah, sorry guys, there's some disturbance outside. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying, we have received this data for the year 2022. Let's suppose in the future, if we receive similar kind of data for the next year, then we have to import the data as well in our system, right? So that time also, if our data containing similar kind of errors, then what we have to do? No need to go and work on every and single error. So I'll show you a way. The way we have cleaned our data by applying those remove rows options, the similar way we can apply the same set of rules on the newly imported data. The way I'll show you the way. So we'll go to our Power query editor. So here I have already told you, whenever we do any transformation step, that step will be recorded under query settings this way. And this step, in this step, in the background, a mashup language, M language code was written. So that code we can see through advanced editor option, and that advanced editor option can be accessed through either home or view tab. Okay, I'm going to advanced editor through view tab, and I'm seeing the steps that are applied. See here, the first step showing data is loaded using Excel file. After that, your sheet 2022 should get reading sheet 2022 sheet happened. After that, header got promoted. After that, the type of column profiling got changed. After that, you have removed errors, removed duplicates, removed bank rows. So these steps are performed. So I'll simply copy this content cancel this. Now I'm having one more sheet of data, similar kind of like student 2023. In this sheet also I'm having similar kind of data. Like see here, 535, which is May 35 is impossible and June 32 is impossible, like incorrect data, and EE value in the serial number column. So similar kind of errors are there and blank columns are there. See, blank columns, and I'm having duplicate data here, BBB this way. Okay, duplicate data this way. Okay, now see, otherwise I'll do one thing. I'm having duplicate data this way. So let's try to load this file into Power BI, and without working step by step, let's try to apply whatever steps applied on 2022 sheet and get the data cleaned. See, I'm going to Power Query Editor, and I'm going to Home tab. I'm going to New Source option and choosing a new Excel workbook to load the data, or I can go on the under query section. I can right click, I can use new query option and can choose the new source. So in the I'm choosing same file because my same file containing my other sheet as well. So in this file I'm containing a second sheet with the name student 2023. So I'm selecting student 2023. So the same problem, header is not properly understood by Power BI, so it has given its own header, and last rows and all empty cells are given as null values, and date which are having incorrect values are not aligned properly, and even serial number value which is incorrect like E is not proper and or not aligned properly. So I'm clicking on OK to have this data loaded into Power Query Editor. Now for this particular student 2023 sheet, it will also have mashup language code, its own steps written. So that particular code I'll replace with your previous sheet code which I have copied. So earlier I have copied 2022 mashup language code through advanced editor, and I'm selecting 2023. I'm going to advanced editor. Here I'm going to paste the same because first row no need to change because both the sheets are from the same file. So file name remains same. And second row I have to change because my sheet name is 2023. That's all. Rest of steps will be applied as is. I'm clicking on done. As soon as I click on done, all these transformation steps which are applied on the previous thing, previous 2022 sheet will be applied here on 2023. So I'm clicking on done and see what happens to this particular 2023 data. See guys, all duplicates are removed, all errors are removed, all blank rows are removed. This is your final data. And in case if you are not having duplicate data, let's suppose I'll change this row to EEF. Now it is not a duplicate row. Earlier this row and this row were duplicates. Now I have changed the name. So this row is no more a duplicate. So I'll simply go here. I'll click refresh view. Refresh preview contains two options. Refresh preview will refresh the current selected query, whereas refresh all will refresh all the loaded queries. In our case, refresh preview is enough. I'm clicking on that and see we will have one more entry with the name EEF. Earlier that was removed with as a duplicate one as the name was containing triple E. I'm refreshing my preview. See guys, we are having EEF row added. Clear guys? This way we can reuse the transformation steps we have used on any of the query earlier. Okay. Clear guys, everyone? Good. Now I'll proceed with showing you one more example. See here guys, the same file containing one more sheet named employee data, and this data containing information this way. Employee ID as 1 to 10, employee names as A, B, C, C, D, E like this. Department name like purchase department, purchase, sales, production, sales, stores admin. So out of that we'll be having, so if you look at this data, we'll be having departments like either employee can belong to purchase, sales, stores, admin, production. So these are my possible department names. So whichever employee I'm having with my data, that employee can fall into either of, from this five to these five departments. Okay. Okay. And I'm having a column with the name shift. Day, night, day, night, day, night. So what are the possible values guys? Either day or night. These are the possible values. And salary information. Okay. So now If I load this data to Power BI, by loading this data to Power BI, I can simply loading this data to Power BI. What I'll do, I'll add this sheet to Power BI and show you how to I'm selecting employee data sheet. From this data, I'm closing and apply. My data got loaded. I'm closing and apply. So from that data, we will try to create few visuals. Go to your report view where we can create our visual, guys. Under report view, we can create our visuals. Okay. Now I'm going to report view. So under report view, we are having all these data fields added for each sheet. So under employee data, I am having employee information this way, employee data this way, employee name, department name, shift and salary. Now I want to see how many employees are working in each department as a table, and how many employees are working in each shift as a second table, and I want to see how many employees from each department working in day and working in night shift. These three tables I want to draw. Okay, from this information, we are not having any direct information available with this. We are having employee wise information, like ABC employee, purchase department, and he works in shift day, and the same purchase employee, same employee DEF from the same purchase department works in day, and production guy with the name GHA works in night shift, and the production guy RST works in day shift. This way, but we want to see the data in aggregated manner. Aggregation nothing but summing up the data. See here, I have told you earlier. I have told you. See, though we are having 10 values in the department column, those 10 values are derived from only these columns, like purchase, sales, sales, production, stores, admin. These are the possible values, 5 possible values. So now I want to know like how many employees are working in purchase department. I have to simply go to this table and I have to count the employees who are having department as purchase. So this employee is having purchase department and this employee is having purchase department. So how many employees? 2. And now sales, how many employees are working in sales? 2. And now production, so these 3 employees are working in production department, that is count is 3. And stores, these 2 employees are working in stores, count is 2. And admin, there is only one admin person, is count is 1. So total count is 10. Your employee count is 10, total department wise employee count is 10. Now this way you can aggregate your data. Now I want to aggregate my data based on shift, only shift. So day and shift are the, sorry, day and night are the possible values for you, day and night. So in day, how many employees are working? 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And during nights, only 3 employees are working, 3. This is my aggregation data based on shift. If I want to see my data based on both um, day and department and shift, so I have to add like purchase, in purchase department during day, in purchase during day, purchase during day, only 2 employees. There is no night shift employee. For sales, sales I'm having 2 employees only in day, no night shift. For production, I'm having daytime 1 employee, and for production I'm having nighttime 2 employees. So for day I'm having 1 employee, and during night I'm having 2 employees, production day, production night. And stores I'm having 1 employee during night, 1 employee during day. So I'll say simply this way, daytime 1 employee, nighttime 1 employee. And for admin department we are having only daytime employee, this way. So this way, if you look at 10 employees, department wise, shift wise employees. Okay, so this way our data is only 10 rows of data. From these 10 rows of data, we were able to draw insights or meaningful information this way based on our requirement. Okay, so though our data structure is this way, we can draw information by aggregating the data. Aggregating in the sense, I have aggregated all employees which are working under purchase department. I came to know count is 2. I have aggregated all the employees who are working under day shift. So the aggregated result is 7. I have aggregated all the employees who are working under the department and shift wise. So I came with the result like employee count only 2. Okay. So we'll try to achieve the same in Power BI. Let's see. So in Power BI, we are having same data which we are having in our source file. I'm going to Power View. In Power View, I'll select a table visual. To this table visual, table contains columns, guys, columns and rows. So to this table visual, we will add department and count. So I'll add a department. I'll drag and drop department from employee data query. Okay, I'm dragging drop from employee data query. I'm dragging drop department. After that, I'll drag and drop employee. So that what does it mean? Employee, so department wise employee count will be C. See, I'm dragging drop employee name as a second column to this visual and see it given employee name. What I'll say, I'll take only count instead of name. I'll take only count. It gives me the count. Department wise count is this one. So I'm enabling focus mode. You will able to see admin one employee, production 3 employees, purchase 2 employees, sales 2, stores 2. Okay, now I'll take one more table. To this table, I'll add only shift and employee, shift and employee, shift and employee. So let me choose this visual. So I'm clicking on my canvas. I'm choosing table visual. What's happening? Okay, sorry guys. I'm in focus mode. That's why visual not added. I'm selecting table here. Yes, here. I'll drag and drop shift here. After that, I'll drag and drop employee ID. Employee name or employee ID, any of the thing you can use here. See here is simply, it has taken the count. Day wise 7, night wise 10, 3. Okay. Now take one more table visual. To this table visual, we try to add department wise, shift wise, employee count. See here, it's simply giving you department wise, shift wise, employee count, and total also 10. That's all. Clear, guys? So this way we can build our data, build our insights using the data. Though the data structure is different, we were able to aggregate the data. Power BI able to aggregate and give you the results. Okay, this is good if your data size is limited. As we are having 10 records, aggregation is happening very quickly. But whereas if your data itself contain like 1 lakh employee records, then aggregating data from those 1 lakh employee records and giving you results in this manner will takes hefty amount of time. It also takes some processing time and memory. So that's why based on our need, let's suppose if you are dealing with this kind of data, your data source containing this kind of data, and we are looking at reports like this, then no need to load this kind of data, like 10 records of data, no need to be loaded into Power Pivot. Once we select this particular sheet as part of transform data option, here transform data option, I'm going to so what I'll do, I'll remove all these visuals. I'm going back to my home tab and I'm going to transform data option. Under transform data option, we will be able to see employee data, right? We will be able to group this data. Grouping can be done here. Okay, what I'll do, I'll select this column and there is an option under home tab with the name group by. I'll choose this group by option. As soon as I choose group by, it asks me like what kind of group by you need, basic or advanced. Let's proceed with basic grouping. So I want to group on the basis of column department. And what is your new column name? Like count of employees. I'm giving my new column name. And what you need? Count I need. Department wise employees count I need. So I'm choosing operation as count rows. I'm clicking on OK. As soon as I click on OK, these 10 rows and 5 columns of data are getting changed to this fashion. Department wise count of employees. That's all. Okay. And let's see. Now let's do one more transformation. Like I'm removing this step and I'll go only shift wise grouping. I'll select shift. I'll go with group by. Here shift is the column on what base, on that base, on that particular column values basis I want to group my data. Here column name I'll give count of employees, and that shift wise I need count rows, count of the rows. I'll selecting this operation, clicking on OK. We'll get only 2 rows of data. Day wise 7 employees, night wise 3, night shift wise 3 employees. I'll remove that one also. uh, I want to see department and shift wise grouping. So select department, hold the control key, select shift. So 2 columns are selected, and choose this group by option. So now department and shift wise count of employees, a new column name I'm giving here, and operation I want to apply count rows. So department shift wise counting employee count will be given as output. See here, department and shift wise employee count. So earlier we were having 10 rows of data. Out of 10 rows we can bring our data count or size to this level. Okay, based on requirement, guys. If you want to do employee wise data, employee name, employee name related information, employee name related reports, then you have to load data in this fashion. But if you are looking at aggregation level, if your report expectation is at this level, department shift and department shift wise is, then no need to load this much of data. See now, guys, now my data row count is 10. Though my data row count is 10, I'm having only 5 rows of departmentized data coming and 2 rows of shift wise data coming. What if my data contains, I'm having only 5 departments. What if my employee count is 100? How many rows of department wise aggregation I'll get? I'll get only 5 rows only, but only this count will change. Okay, purchase wise 20 employees, sales wise 25 employees. That's all, right? Though employee count increases like 10, 11, 12, like 100 and 1000, I'll have employee from either of these departments. So here count will change simply. That's all. Even this report also, shift wise employee count, if my employee count is like more than 1000 or 5000, then possible values for shift is either day or night. So for day these many employees, for night these many employees. Only it will have only 2 rows and 2 column output if I want to see my data in this aggregation manner, shift wise. Same will be applicable for this shift wise, sorry, department and shift wise. Okay, remember that. So I'm removing these columns. So this is called aggregation, guys. Clear, guys, everyone so far? Yeah. So this way we can aggregate your data, guys. So today what we have seen, guys, we have seen how to clean our data using remove errors, remove duplicates, remove blank rows options, which are available here. Sorry, which are available here under home tab, and how to keep the data. Okay, that is one thing. And how to apply the transformation applied in another query to a new query, we have seen through advanced editor option. And how to group your data, that's we have seen now. Okay, any queries, guys? If no queries, we can conclude the session. Thank you all.